Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at inspireddisorder.com/plus.
This is The Ray Taylor Show.
Lagaan, Once Upon a Time in India is the movie I'm reviewing today, directed by Ashutosh Gowariker. Man, written by him as well. Starring Aamir Khan, produced by Aamir Khan, came out in 2001. The runtime is long, I'm telling you. It is 3 hours and 44 minutes, but I absolutely had a blast watching this movie. It is a sports movie, which is a genre film that I enjoy. It follows the same type of pattern as every other sports movie, pretty much, which I enjoy as well. This movie really had the vibes of a 90s Disney sports movie specifically. Like a feel-good story. Obviously, it's an Indian film, so there's a lot of singing, a lot of songs in this one, not just a few musical moments, a lot of them, which is also similar to 90s Disney. But definitely has that vibe of a 90s Disney. So kind of a feel-good story. And, you know, with the sports aspect, it is about a game of cricket. I have no idea how cricket is played. I've never watched cricket. I think I maybe learned how to play cricket once in like school PE. For like a week or something like that. But a game that I know nothing about. But I can still get, it's still infectious to watch a sports movie, even if you don't know the rules of the sport that's being played. It doesn't really matter. Human emotion is human emotion. You can tell when things are going well and when things aren't going well. And I really love this movie. A high-stakes underdog story. Also has similarity to the animated film Ants in a lot of ways. This is a movie that takes place in like the 1800s in India, where there is imperialism. You have the British imperialism in India that are in charge of this giant region, and there's these different farming communities that are there that are all under the umbrella of a king. And the king has to answer to the British. So you see structurally how things are set up, which is just horrible. But similar to Ants, is these farmers have to, they're suffering a drought, which is very similar to what's happening globally right now. They're suffering a drought, and they're not sure if they're going to be able to produce the amount of food to pay their taxes. And situations happen, and a bet is made with these farmers, with Aamir Khan's character making a bet with one of these British dudes. And the bet is over a cricket match. The winner, if the Indians win, they will get 3 years without having to pay taxes. And if they lose, they have to pay triple the tax, which they ended up, the reason the bet comes to be is because they end up getting their taxes raised double, which they had previously had their taxes cut in half because of a drought, and the drought is continuing. But due to the arrogance of this British dude, he wants the king to eat meat. The king is vegetarian and refuses to eat meat. So because of that, in order to punish him for not doing as the white dude says, he says that they're going to charge double the tax. And these farmers go to sympathize, to beg this British dude not to raise the taxes because they're not sure if they would be able to pay just the standard tax as it is with the drought. And in them going there, they interrupt a cricket game and then get challenged, and the bet is accepted by Aamir Khan's character, whose name is Bhuvan, which I love Aamir Khan. I think he's great. And so it's a movie about this, like, these farmers learning how they have 3 months to learn how to play cricket and to train and to somehow beat these British imperialists in a game of cricket. So it's like, it's a fun movie. It really is. A lot of the movie is them learning and forming their team, and the British trying to sabotage the whole thing. And like I said, 90s Disney action, not action, 90s Disney sports movie vibes. So it's a feel-good movie. It makes you hopeful. Like they're trying to do this big thing. Aamir Khan trying to be inspirational, trying to not only give them hope but lead the way to actually put action behind his hope. And it's pretty amazing. It's pretty fun ride, despite it being long. I didn't mind the length of it, right? One, it was on Netflix. So as far as the subtitle situation, I'm not a fan of watching subtitled movies on Amazon Prime, which there are multiple Indian films on Amazon Prime that I'm not watching at the moment because dealing with their subtitle situation is a bummer. So watching it on Netflix was a treat. It was a treat. And watching Aamir Khan, who I enjoy, is a treat. All of the songs are a lot of fun. You definitely see a contrast. Obviously, there is white characters in this movie as British people, and the contrast in dancing and singing, because there is one of the white ladies of the English, the sister of the guy who makes this bet, wants to help the Indians out, wants to help the farmers out, and she goes to teach them the game. Right? She's not doing a whole lot other than teaching them the game. They have to train. They have to win the game. So it's minor influence from the white people. But there's multiple singing musical moments, as you would have in an Indian film. And there's moments where this white lady is dancing and singing that really show how corny white people are. Really takes you out, really shows the contrast in the two cultures. And that was pretty funny because, I'm so used to watching. I've watched, probably close to 15 Indian films in the last couple months. And it's there's definitely a style to the dancing and obviously the singing, the language and such that I've gotten used to and that I appreciate. So to see a British chick singing and doing like a white person's impression of that in their own style was pretty funny. But there's also like a love triangle situation that happens. So there's not only is this like a 90s Disney sports movie, but it also has, like most Indian films, has a romantic aspect to it, a rom-com aspect to it. And the rom-com trope in this movie is the love triangle aspect between Bhuvan and Elizabeth and Gauri, I think her name is. So there's a little love triangle, although it's not as much love triangle-y. Like, Gauri thinks Bhuvan is into Elizabeth, but he never really is. Spoilers. So it's not as stressful as a typical rom-com love triangle could be. You get to see a white lady get disappointed, get her heart broken, but other than that, it adds a fun thing. I want to take a quick break from the show to let you all know that there is official merch for the Ray Taylor Show. Head on over to inspireddisorder.com. You can get t-shirts, different artwork available, different designs, all on high quality materials in all the sizes. There's also iPhone cases made of biodegradable material. That's right. This is not bad for the environment. This is good for the environment. So all of those designs that are available on t-shirts are also available on phone cases. Designed by me, sold by me. Head on over to inspireddisorder.com to support the Ray Taylor Show and promote it out in the world
so all of the people in your life can see that you are a fan of the Ray Taylor Show. Now, let's get back to that very show right now.
All of the characters are really fun. You know, the ragtag group of people that they get to be part of the team. You have you have this drummer guy who is, super passionate, but because of his drumming, he's, got a skill set that helps him whack the ball. You have this crazy looking guy, this wild man who is like a fortune teller guy, but he's like, he's got his own energy bringing to it. You have a guy who has hens and chickens, and he's really good at catching things. There's a disabled kid who's part of the lower caste system, so he's kind of like the farmer's slave, and he's also disabled. And there's a scene where they want to bring him in because his disability gives him a kind of a unique ability to throw the ball in a way that causes it to spin and makes it harder to hit. But there's a big uproar about bringing him in, and how like that would go against everything, and people want to leave the team because of that. But you have, of course, Bhuvan, convincing everybody. It's like, we all need to work together. It's great. It's so heartwarming in every way, which I absolutely love. You also have, of course, the player who becomes the rat, right? He's kissing up to the British guy, thinking he's going to get special treatment. So he's kind of, giving up the goose to everything that they're doing, telling him that his sister is helping them train, helping them learn the game. And then he ends up being found out, but then brought back into the team to prove himself, which is, it's every beat of this is just, it makes you feel good. Their progression of them learning. You see that, the town and how everybody works and is part of each other, and a moment where clouds kind of go by and they're all celebrating, hoping that these clouds are going to bring them water to feed their crops, and the clouds just move away. They celebrated too soon. It's just like beat after beat of this movie was just so much fun to watch. You also have when the game starts, you have there's the momentum shifts of the game. So the game is played over 3 days, which is crazy. And it's like the game starts like a little over, like there's still like an hour left of the movie, at least, of this movie when the game starts, right? So the first 2 hours or 3 hours, it's almost a 4 hour long movie. So it's I think maybe an hour and a half. The last hour and a half of this movie is the game portion. And there's like momentum shifts in the game, right? They start off, the British are batting, right? They're the ones that are able to score, and they're just getting dusted, these Indians, right? These farmers are just getting destroyed. They're like completely unable to get these British guys out so that they can take their turn batting. And they're just getting humiliated, like just right off the bat. And then you see when the momentum shifts, you see what happens all the time. All the time when these people who are in charge, these entitled, spoiled, wealthy white people, when the moment they start losing footing, right? The moment the momentum shifts in somebody else's favor, when they're no longer getting the benefit, they want to go in and change the rules, right? You see that in America right now with Donald Trump being investigated, and all of a sudden all these Republicans want to defund law enforcement, right? As long as law enforcement is killing unarmed black people, they're perfectly fine with funding law enforcement. But the moment they start investigating their Lord and Savior Donald Trump, We got to defund them, right? Same thing in this movie. As soon as they start losing their foothold, and as soon as these the Indians the farmers get their chance to start batting and start scoring points, they get all out of sorts. Actually, it was when they were pitching, right? They had one of their guys who's really good at a slingshot. He would just like swing his arm around like super fast, and they didn't know when he was going to let the ball go. So they like want to make a rule that you can't swing your arm around multiple times because it was throwing them off. And they even figured out a way around it, but it didn't matter. As soon as the rules of the game no longer suit them, they want to change the rules of the game. That's like capital. That's white supremacy, capitalism. It's the people in charge. Every aspect of that. As soon as the rules are no longer benefiting them, as soon as the rules are starting to benefit anybody but them, everybody below them. Once anybody below them start, like even with this college $10,000 college forgiveness on their loans, only $10,000 by the way. They want to change things. It's like, this is unfair. This is unfair. Only wealthy, privileged people should get the benefits. Not struggling people trying to make their lives better.
Let's take a little break from the show to promote The Many Faces. That's right, I am also an artist. I do ink paintings on paper of abstract faces. A new face, a new painting gets released every single day over at inspireddisorder.com. So head on over to my website to purchase original artwork directly from the artist. Also, there are prints available for select images. Head on over to inspireddisorder.com, buy original art, buy prints if that's your jam, if you want 8x10 prints on high quality paper. Also, if you're looking to wear some art, there are shirts available with original artwork by myself. Select faces from The Many Faces are also available in t-shirt form. You go to inspireddisorder.com, you buy original artwork, you buy prints, you buy shirts. You're supporting an artist directly. And if you're the type of person that likes to invest in NFTs, there are also NFTs available for select faces. Go to inspireddisorder.com now. And now let's get back to the show.
But yeah, starting to change there, but like crazy momentum shifts. And it's so great. It's like the way the game plays out is amazing. Even how it ends. I don't want to say how it ends. I don't want to spoil how it ends. Right? But let's just say you're watching most sports movies, you kind of know how they're going to end. They don't always win. I don't know if they win here. Maybe they don't win. Maybe they do win. Maybe they don't win, but something changes. Like, things can happen. You don't know. Maybe it's a happy ending. Maybe it's not. But let me say, this reminds me of a Disney's underdog sports movie. So take that how you will. But even then, the back and forth of the ending of this movie is amazing. Even when you think it's over, even when you think you know how it ends, you don't know how it ends. There are like twists and turns and momentum shifts, and it's amazing. Like I loved it so much. It was so much fun to watch. And like even the things that happen at the end, there's even a cherry on top, right? No matter like the shifts, the back and forth, the conclusion, and then even after that, there's an additional cherry on top, and it's beautiful. And I absolutely loved it so much. Let's just say the sky helped celebrate with the people. The sky joined in on the celebration. And the very end, like the conclusion of it, because of the way it concluded, the whole thing with this movie, which most movies obviously take with a grain of sand, the historical accuracy. I don't know if this movie's based on true events. I can't imagine it is. But as a movie, it's fun. It's a fun movie. And the way it ends, the way they like, there's actually multiple cherries on the top of this great Sunday of happiness and joy, right? The way it ends, the way that they are able to eradicate all of the barriers that stood in their way before, all of the hardships that they had to deal with were liberated from, right? The way it happens is so great. Like, just one thing after the other, and how people are treated for their bad decisions was great. So I absolutely love this movie. I'm really glad I watched it. It's been on my list for a while. There's a few Aamir Khan movies that aren't available that I'm looking forward to watching. But I do enjoy his movies and love it. So if you definitely check this out. Check out Lagaan, Lagaan. Obviously, you can see it in the title. But also, if you enjoy Aamir Khan in this movie, he's done a few other movies, specifically 3 Idiots, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, after having seen it recently. Obviously, another Indian film. It's about him and 2 friends in college and engineering school, and it's an amazing movie. That one means so much to me. Like, I love that movie so much. Again, it's one of my favorite movies of all time after having just seen it recently. But I'm a fan of Aamir Khan in the multiple movies I've seen him in so far, and looking forward to watching more of his movies as well. But yeah, check it out. PK was great as well. But yeah, check it out. Lagaan, Once Upon a Time in India, available now on Netflix or wherever you get your movies. Not really. It's just look it up. Just watch. Type it in. Check it out.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.